Turmeric was originally cultivated in the Old World tropics, but now thrives in other tropical regions around the world. Turmeric has large, dark green leaves that are erect and oblong. These leaves are pointed at the apex, broad near the base, and envelop the succeeding shoot. Turmeric is an herbaceous perennial plant of the ginger family and has bright orange rhizomes, which grow beneath the foliage. During the dry season, the stems and leaves dry up and the rhizome remains dormant in the soil. Turmeric has a long history of being used for both food and medicine. It has been a major herb in Ayurvedic medicine for nearly 6,000 years. It has been used to purify the blood and to treat a number of illnesses such as indigestion, liver and gallbladder diseases, arthritis, and rheumatism, as well as colds and flu. Raw turmeric applied to the skin is effective in treating inflammations, infections, bruises, and sprains. Since the discovery of turmeric's antioxidant phenolic compounds and the protection that these compounds provide against free radicals, this spice is now viewed as much more than just a food colorant or yellow dye. Turmeric's potential use in cancer prevention and the treatment of HIV infections is now the subject of intense laboratory and clinical research. Using turmeric in your food is a good way to prevent health problems. A small quantity of raw grated turmeric adds taste to salad dressings and gives them a bright orange color. Curry, which is made from turmeric and ginger, is another excellent seasoning that provides preventative health care maintenance. Turmeric tea is also beneficial for the restoration of the liver and the gallbladder and aids in reducing inflammation and swelling and arthritis. Turmeric is easy to grow in the home garden and will produce sufficient quantities of roots for salad dressings, homemade curries, and medicinal use. You can use fresh roots from the markets for planting, or perhaps from your neighbors. Plant the roots superficially in the soil during April and May. Keep the area free of weeds during the following months, and later in the dry season, turmeric can be harvested for home use.
Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is September 4th, 2013, and here are your news updates for today. I am going to be showing some alternative types of foods you can eat that might help protect all of us and give us a lot of nutrition. And even one of the videos I'm attaching shows how it could take care of a lot of the world hunger. Alrighty? And that's a moringa tree. But I'm going to give you some heads up on some holistic cures and nutrients in this times of destruction of our ecosystem. Alright, so here we go. So we can all stay healthy. I'm going to give you some solutions. Alright, you probably watched a couple of them before you even got to this video. Alright. Alrighty then, let's go to the watchers watching the world. And it says here, healed by wheatgrass. Now, a lot of people can eat the wheat, but Healed by wheatgrass, 74-year-old man with cancer told he would be dead in a matter of weeks. Proves doctors wrong. When conventional doctors told 74-year-old Danny MacDonald of Dunough, Ireland, that he had stomach cancer so severe that it would likely kill him within 3 months, he decided to ignore their advice to undergo toxic chemotherapy treatments and instead embraced a nutritional approach to healing. 4 years later, Danny is doing great thanks to daily protocol he adopted that involves juicing and drinking wheatgrass, a nutrient-dense superfood. Alright? And it goes on. Alrighty then. Z-Max agrees with that one. Let's move on. That's very important for everyone to know. Nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. Alright. See here. Let's go to the Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. Ticking time bomb. Japan's Sakurajima volcano rocked by another large explosion damages cars. Also, war drums. Israel and U.S. test fire missiles and exercise. Russia sends missile cruiser to Mediterranean. Alright. Moving on. That's enough of the politics stuff. Alright, the breaking news. BreakingNews.com. Let's move this up. I saw some things kind of glazed over this. Okay. Flash flood warning in effect in Idaho until 9 p.m. MDT. Includes the cities of Melba, Kuna, Swan Falls, and South Meridian. That's an hour ago, coming out of NWS Boise. Also, Asiana says Boeing 777 flight was delayed in Bangkok 2 days ago due to engine problem. It's coming out of Reuters. Heads up, another plane problem. California's Rimfire Yosemite National Park remains 237,341 acres and 80% contained. Alrighty then. Utility. About 6,400 customers without power, mostly in South Austin, Texas, following severe weather. Coming out of the Statesman. That's an hour ago. I wonder if Alex Jones was able to do his show. Alrighty then. Emergency operation underway in Salamat region of Chad after an alarming rise in cases of malaria. Coming out of the BBC. Tropical storm Gabriel advisory 2 issued. Depression becomes tropical storm. NHC Atlantic. More tropical storm Gabriel forms south of Puerto Rico, not expected to hit U.S. mainland. Now, there's another thing. I saw it in the middle of the night. And I said, wow, why are they going to play that in the middle of the night? So I'm going to have to move way forward. Alright. 3 hours ago, Los Angeles Public Health Department issues heat alert for Santa Clarita, San Fernando Valleys for Thursday and Friday. This coming out of Robert, NBC, LA. Heads up. But I'm trying to move way forward. Now. So stand by. I don't know if I can even get to it. I might have to try. I don't know another way of doing it. I just got to keep rolling down until I get to something way in the middle of the night. And you'll see they'll report on some things, mention it real fast in the middle of the night, and say, "Well, we reported on it, but it was like 3 in the morning, and they knew no one would see it." But it just so happens Diana saw it. So let's just keep. Former President Bill Clinton. Affordable Care Act is the law. Elected officials are sworn to uphold the law. That's coming out of Politico Roger. That's another one. Cessna light aircraft ditches into the sea 4 miles west of Jersey Airport. That was 17 hours ago. Now we're getting closer. Chinese authorities scoop up around 200,000 pounds of dead fish they say were poisoned by ammonia from a chemical plant. Let's keep going. Middle of the night gets very interesting. See, they'll report on. Okay, here's one. Japanese camera and medical equipment maker Olympus and its UK subsidiary Gyrus Group to be prosecuted in the UK, coming out of BBC. There is something else. I'm looking for it. Massachusetts court to hear arguments on whether the phrase "under God" violates state constitution. CNN. Jeez. See, they'll report on this in the middle of the night. Here we go. Here's one. Australia. This is what I wanted to tell you. Listen to this one. 20 hours ago. Australian TV refuses to run commercial accusing Rupert Murdoch of printing misleading crap in his newspapers. Coming out of AFP. Let me say this one more time. Australian TV refuses to run commercial accusing Rupert Murdoch of printing misleading crap in his newspapers. Coming out of AFP. Also, 1 in 4 U.S. heart disease deaths could be prevented, CDC says Reuters. Reports, here's another one. Reports of apparent tornado in Tochigi, Japan a short while ago. This is 21 hours ago. Some buildings damaged, power cut in some areas. Coming out of the Japan news. See, all kinds of weird stuff in the middle of the night. Just so you know, that's when you should be checking for stuff. Alrighty then, let's move on. I might shorten this up a little bit where I'm just scrolling down. I don't know yet. Alright, just hang in there. Bear with me. Alright. Let's go on to E&E News, Fukushima, Japan. AP, today. Major source of ocean contamination from Fukushima not revealed. Nuclear waste exits from cracks in reactor buildings, then goes into Pacific. never enters groundwater, flows directly through ground. Also, nuclear experts, situation at Fukushima far worse than we truly know. No one really knows the true severity. We don't know anything yet. New York Times, experts warn molten fuel may be underground beneath Fukushima reactor buildings. Doubt that it can be extracted. Also, Tokyo professor, whose huge potential for harm from Fukushima contaminated water entering ocean, warns of severe consequences. Also, the cat's running around. Also, Reuters, international alarm. Fukushima radiation leak spiked to record levels. Too little, too late for Japan government. There you go. Now, let's move on to U.S. Canada. Alright, I'll try to edit some of that out, and you won't know that I was scrolling around, but I'd rather not. Let's see if we'll go into Japan. I mean, U.S. Canada. The dogs are asleep, the cat's in the window tripping out on something out there. Alrighty then. Report. Study warns Fukushima contamination is being more concentrated as it crosses Pacific Ocean rather than dispersing. It's making a beeline for U.S. West Coast. Scientists causing panic in public. No, because most people still don't know. Not unless they watch my show and other people. It's too late now. Alright. Alrighty then. Best to grow things now inside of what would you call those? Like underneath your carport, underneath places that aren't really outside, maybe inside even, in the windows if you can, whatever you can grow. Keep it out of the rain. Or use greenhouses. You can do greenhouses if you need to. But start preparing to keep your food out of the rain, out of the contamination as much as possible. Start growing stuff inside in the windows, wherever you can put a plant inside and you think it will grow, do it. If it's edible, do it. Alrighty then. Stay tuned, got some more information on plants and things that are good in nutrients for you, in case you're really on a limited budget and you need to grow something yourself. Alrighty then, and they look pretty easy to grow. Take care, be prepared, stay tuned. I'm going to put a whole bunch of Kevin Blanch on. I'll put that on before the other stuff, so you can always pull it fast forward if you have to. But he's saying a lot of stuff on Fukushima too. We'll see what I'll do. Alright, take care, be prepared for anything. I'll see you tomorrow on the flip side. It's Wednesday hump day. See you tomorrow. We are 3 days down, 2 to go before the weekend. Look at that already. Short week this week.
They'll be calling you a radical. I want to talk about the Pacific Ocean. Fukushima in the Pacific Ocean. That incredible blue, spiritual, worshipped, respected piece of this entire everything that we are. It kills me how these so-called experts, these posture groom and the mainstream media and the alternative media, which is the mainstream media, when they bring somebody out, you almost know they're delegitimate as soon as they let them talk. The Pacific Ocean is not a fucking bathtub. I mean, okay, let's talk about this. One, if it was just the last 90 days of pouring in the Pacific, which we know factually. TEPCO's press conference himself. This is how fucked up the media and the populace is in this country. TEPCO's own press conference. We're losing containment into the Pacific, and we don't know if that has been happening the whole time. Their watchdog, we're sure that it's been pouring into the Pacific the whole time. The international team, 15 different studies in June of 2011, July of 2011, May of 2011, August of 2011. December of 2011. April of 2012. On and on and on and on. 15 studies. Plutonium, Pu, Pu, Pu. Cesium, thousands of times in the current. Okay. Class, let's go back to the 3rd grade, you journalistic fucks. And I love it how fucking these two, Gunderson and Busby, these fuckers, and this passive bullshit. When are we gonna fucking realize, you fucks? It's just like the fucking trickle-down economics in the Greenspan fairy tale free market fucking slash the fucking thing to zero fucking Fed. When are we going to fucking realize the economic fucking practice that we've used for 30 years is a fucking failure? We keep going right down the same road. QE1, Q2, 3, 4. What fucking next? They lowered the rate to fucking 0 when it should have been fucking raising. It's the same thing with the anti-nuclear fighters. How high? Yes, I think the solution to pollution is delusion. Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking 101. 101. Science 101. Nuclear fallout is not fucking pollution. It's nuclear fallout. And it's asymmetric. It's fucking opposite of pollution. It doesn't dilute. It grows. It's China syndrome where it gets bigger. The Pacific Ocean is not about, okay, say it does. We know it's a giant body of water. But it doesn't just lay there. So it's just like anything else in life. You don't know where the heavy pockets are in there, why not? Okay, just go throw your rubber ducky in the fucking ocean, which has been done. How soon, as Jack Russell said, how soon did that bridge make it to freaking out? We know that the fucking, from the current in Fukushima, Japan, to the California coast in San Diego can make it in as short as 5 days. 5 fucking days. Some of the swiftest rivers in the world. Okay, class, here's Fukushima, Japan. It's on the edge of the Pacific. It comes down like this. There's a small current that runs like there's a small barrier reef right there, about 15 miles off the coast. Now remember, the international study in June of 2011 said 40 miles on the other side of the barrier. It was already into the current. Fish swim. Tuna, that sacred being that tuna is. The silver streak, as it's been called by Mariner. You know, it's like technology. Sailors at the time of the Revolutionary War and before that were more efficient than they are now. I love it how we think the technology is better now. Because they were craftsmen, they were skillsmen, then the trade winds. Look at the old paintings lined up in New York Harbor of the ships. Go read Moby Dick again. Okay, that current comes down like this. It hooks into the Japanese current, one of the swiftest rivers on this globe. Now, the Japanese current goes up like this, curls down, gets right near San Francisco off there, and it splits. And it goes up into the Gulf of Alaska, the biggest fishery in the world. Go have another fucking fish burger at Wendy's. That's where it's all coming from. Then it curves down, and it goes like this, and it runs right down the coast of California, Mexico, all the way down. It's called the California Current. So to sit and think that fucking plutonium pushed in for fucking 900 fucking days. Plutonium, fucking plutonium. Half-life 24,500 years unmoxed. We know factually that number 4 fucking some of it's in the fucking plume and in the fucking water. Half-life hundreds of thousands of years, if not billions. So you could have a place laying here, could have none. Another place with heavy fish swim through currents, in currents. You don't think that's silver streak? It's been hypothesized, and again, marine biologists, how would they fucking know what happens with it? As they said, we don't know the migration fucking thing of the tuna. Oh, maybe we'll learn. This is how fucked up this asshole in Stony Brook, who's another Busby fucking Gunderson. I mean, you think about it, we've all been fighting this for so fucking long, and we know how fucking evil nuclear fallout is. We knew how fucking evil it was 30 years ago. Gunderson was working for them. I mean, come on. Fuck, it fucking blows my mind, and this is personal. I'll tell you it's personal because I saved the emails. I don't attack someone ever in my life, and I was raised in the Marine culture by a Special Forces Marine. Oh, you don't think I know the rules of engagement? Oh, do I fucking know them. I never attack another person ever in my life, ever. But if they attack me, I fight the fuck back. I always have fought the back. My brother always tells a story. Went to high school right here, Weber High. People can verify they're watching. 2,000 students. I was a small kid, but I was a tough kid. You know, I had this long freaking hair. I was an artist, you know, but I was a tough-ass kid. Two biggest hillbilly fucking redneck fucking boys, 2 years older than me. Fucking picking on people. He says the whole school gathering, I go out and there's this little llama here fighting them both, knocking the fuck out of both of them. I'm not afraid of any of you fuckers. But when you attack me, must be attack me while I was in critical condition in the fucking hospital, near dead, slipping in and out of a coma. You should see these emails. I mean, these fuckers really think they're fucking something. Gunderson fucking emailed me over. Told me I didn't know what I was talking about. He told me for 2 fucking weeks and I haven't. I have the emails. I finally blocked his fucking ass. This was a hydrogen plume. I didn't know anything what the fuck I was talking about. I'm like, fuck, dude. I mean, over and over he says, oh no, he was covering for them then. And then you stick him on the point on the son and offer. Oh, fuck. It's like somebody sent me an email the other day and says, worst thing that ever happened to the nuclear industry was Kevin Blanche getting cancer. Though my mind is not for rent, don't put me down as arrogant. As somebody says, talk about chemtrails, talk about HARP. And I says, I made a promise to all of you early in this vlog when I was doing my PhD. I would not talk about anything unless I was so incredibly sophisticated. What do I talk about? Finance, socioeconomics, culture, nuclearism. Try me, try me, try me. But you fuckers need to fucking learn that our tactics have failed. We're going to do our walk September 20th. It's going to be a very peaceful walk. But that's part of this because we're going to educate the populace around the world. That's what I'm doing. Educate the people that you can be fucking tough. Cordial conversations are dangerous, passionate, intelligent arguments. To say that the fucking solution to fucking Fukushima is delusion is the most fucking obscene. Fucking, you're working right for the nuclear industry when you make a statement like that. That is one of the most grotesque statements I've ever heard in my life. It is factually not only untrue, it is factually the opposite of the truth. Just like the media fucking plays. It is black and yellow journalism. The Pacific Ocean is not a bathtub. It is a sacred ecosystem, the most complex ecosystem on this beautifully. And oh, ecosystem, one is the other and other is us. We, the jet stream tells me so. Fukushima is the biggest ecological fucking disaster to this fucking Mother Earth in the history of the world on Balco. By many fucking thousands of times. And all you anti-nukers who fucking fought this the last 40 years, it's just like us fucking social inequality fuckers. We fought and bitched about that all day. Change fucking tactics. Learn what the fuck you're talking about. Understand what a tariff is. Understand what a usury war is. Understand who the shirtwaist girls were. Understand Hamiltonian theory. We need a third party. A guy told me the other day, he says, Kevin, bull moose my ass. It needs to be the Hamilton party. Fucking A, it does. Oh yes. Just like religious leaders in this country. When are some of you spiritual leaders going to change tactics? We're going with the devil flow, with the evil flow, with the opposite of who you are. Jesus died so I can be rich. Really? Really? Where the fuck? You lying fuckers. Fucking solution to pollution. The Pacific is being annihilated. The sea lions, we know. What do you fuckers want? What do you fuckers want? The conspiracy, Plume Gate, the Pacific Genocide, 3/11. What do you fucking want? The sea lions dying. We know they're fucking dying. Widely reported everywhere. The scientist goes right down there, right underneath San Onofre, puts the fucking guy, he's lit up with radiation like you can't believe. The dolphins are fucking dying. We know factually. Birds coming into the fucking fisheries. The cod and the herring. Radiation burns. Same old, you fucking self-indulged, arrogant, ignorant fuckers. You don't call me arrogant, you're the arrogant fuckers. This baby boomer, echo boomer, oh hi, look at my hairspray. Oh yes, hi, we talk like this. You know, I'm on the news, I talk like this. Oh, believe me, oh the fucking... Hi, this is NPR. The fucking ocean has been destroyed and fucking annihilated, and we may have fucking stopped all of humanity for fucking time and all eternity. Let's check the weather now. Oh, can you believe what they're doing in Syria? Oh my God. You poor, dumb, pathetic fuckers make me sick.
There is a taste in here that you cannot find in other vegetables. And the more you eat, the more it's become tasty and you keep on, asking for it.
What this farmer in Hawaii is talking about is not a vegetable, it's a tree. And while Vicky Domingo says it has an unusual flavor, there's more to this tree than meets the taste buds.
You keep on eating and eating and you can feel your body is more energetic, more healthy, and you can see the difference. You're not dropping, you keep on, just so active.
Domingo says she has grown this tree on her farm for more than 25 years. She harvests moringa twice a week all year round. Domingo says there are many nutritional and medicinal uses for moringa.
All parts of the tree are usable, from the roots to the stem, to the leaves, to the flowers, and to the pod. The roots, you can use that as a tea. And then the trunk, you can scrape it, squeeze it, get the juice, put in your cut skin, and your skin will heal.
Dr. Will McClatchy is an ethnobotanist at the University of Hawaii. He studies the ways that humans interact with plants.
Moringa is one of these trees that is a multi-purpose plant that fulfills such a high percentage of kind of basic needs that when people get used to using it, they really can't see what it's like to live without it.
And many cultures don't. Today, moringa is used as a remedy and, in essence, a multivitamin in many of the world's warmest regions.
Moringa is used widely in Africa and South Asia, and it's been introduced into South America and Central America, where it's also being used. So, this is not just a plant of a single community.
This is a plant that really does do extraordinarily well in some of the most difficult areas, in areas that are very hot, areas that are very dry, areas where other things are very difficult to cultivate. I don't think they're actually the most attractive tree. They're more a tree that you look at and you sort of love the way you love a scruffy friend or a scruffy dog, because the branches sort of splay here and there, and they get burdened down with huge quantities of fruits on them. And that's actually what makes the tree so remarkable, is that it's such a generous tree.
And that's because people have found multiple uses for so much of the tree, including its seeds.
They're full of oil. You press the seeds, and then this wonderful aromatic oil comes oozing out, which you can use for cooking, you can use for cosmetics or lubrication or whatever. And the cake, the press cake, the stuff that's left over after pressing the seed, that is what's used for water purification.
Water purification, Olson says, is especially useful in developing countries where clean water is hard to come by. But the benefits don't stop there.
Some of the things I think are most exciting about moringa is, for example, the high vitamin content. There's a lot of vitamin A in the leaves. And worldwide, that's a problem. A lot of people have problems in development of their eyes because they don't have enough vitamin A.
Moringa's vitamin A content, and its content of vitamins in general, has caught the attention of scientists around the world.
So I started to read about moringa and I was absolutely amazed about the richness in nutrients, in many antioxidant compounds, in vitamins.
Dr. Monica Marcoux is a pharmacologist who has studied many plants. She has done extensive research on moringa and says it has significant nutritional potency. This subject is one of the topics of her recently published book, Miracle Tree.
To me, it was just a natural pathway from my scientific background and my love for trees to writing this exciting book on one of the most exciting and extraordinary trees of our world.
Marcoux spends much of her time looking at trees and plants, both as a pharmacologist and as an artist. While Marcoux, the nature photographer, is grabbing shots of plants, Marcoux, the pharmacologist, says she has a bigger concern.
We are having an epidemic of cancer and cardiovascular diseases and many other chronic diseases. It's because we basically do not eat what we are supposed to eat. Most of the plants are famous for a particular type of nutrient, like for instance the orange or the lemon is famous for a high content of vitamin C. The spinach, for instance, on the other hand, is famous for its iron content. Moringa is very unusual because this single plant contains a wide variety of nutrients, but also in quite very high amounts.
Marcoux says this concentration of nutrients combined with low calories and low sodium content makes moringa an ideal energy food or supplement that can help offset the typically unhealthy Western diet.
Many of the Westerners are also deficient in antioxidant and anti-aging substances that are mostly found in plants.
Antioxidants, according to the National Institutes of Health, protect the body's cells and may prevent cancer. And Marcoux says moringa is a treasure trove of antioxidants that happen to work hand in hand.
Antioxidant substances and antioxidant vitamins work together in the body. For instance, it's known that selenium works better in the presence of vitamin E. Moringa has high amounts of selenium and has also vitamin E.
Moringa is well known for being a good source of leafy green vegetable protein. And you don't get a lot of protein out of many vegetable foods other than like beans and things like that. So getting it out of the leaves is really a big deal.
And while there are a few other plants like soy that are protein rich, Olson says moringa is special.
I have a lot of food allergies. I'm allergic to wheat, I'm allergic to eggs. Soy tends to be a fairly highly allergenic food. It causes allergies easily in many people. We think that this is because of the form that some of the proteins are in soy. They're apparently in a form that's very simple and fairly easy for the body to assimilate in moringa.
According to the United States Department of Agriculture, moringa contains 18 of the 20 amino acids, building blocks of proteins that are found in the human body. And, says Marcoux, moringa is one of the few plants that contains all of the essential amino acids.
Moringa contains all the 9 essential amino acids that actually we cannot produce. Their presence, but also their ratio, is very beneficial, and it is estimated that this ratio is very good for absorption and for being bioavailable to our bodies.
In most of sub-Saharan Africa, any baby has a 20% chance of dying before he reaches the age of 5. In some countries, up to 40%. And even those who survive past the age of 5, up to half or more will suffer from malnourished physical and mental development.
As the former regional representative for Church World Service in Senegal for 16 years, it was Lowell Fugle's mission to help local clinics develop ways to save children at risk to malnutrition. So Fugle went to work, both planting moringa trees and, more importantly, educating healthcare workers on how moringa can help stave off malnutrition.
Regarde tonton. Regarde celui-là. Regarde tonton. Tu as vu? Non, non, celui-là même. Pour le moringa.
I was trained in 1998, and right away we saw the virtues of using moringa because of its very high nutritional value. So we began using it right away on an experimental basis.
Après la formation, con le moringa.
Healthcare workers learn to grow their own moringa trees, dry the leaves, and pound them into powder, maintaining all the nutrients. Nursing mothers were taught to add a spoonful of moringa to their food morning, day, and night to increase their milk production. They were also told to add moringa to all of their family's meals. As people changed their habits, Fugle says the results were clear, especially among children.
They'll look happier, they'll have more energy, they'll smile. When they came to the clinic, limp, eyes drooping, no energy. And within 3 weeks, you see them bigger, healthier, and smiling.
La récupération avec le moringa a été beaucoup plus rapide.
We observed that it was much, much more effective than the classic system we had been using, which was based on imported and costly products, such as milk powder, sugar, and vegetable oil. With moringa, people can go into town and find it themselves.
Et on l'a, même des fois sans un sou.
Our diets are pretty bad, although they are improving. But one of the reasons they're improving is because we're starting to adopt more and more of these kinds of plants.
I've been in villages where the only trees that survive and grow well are Moringa oleifera, which is really amazing when you consider how many useful things the tree provides.
Moringa it comes very close to being a perfect source of nutrients in terms of variety and concentration. So that is, I think, very unique about this Moringa tree.